Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your favorite girl, Lisa Caroline, and in today's video I'm going to be talking a lot about myself and how the journey has been. By the way, you won't believe my age, and I have 3 kids at this age. I'm just 30. I clocked 30 November last year and I have 3 kids. How did that happen? Okay, first of all, I got married when I was about 26 years old, and of course I got pregnant 6 months later. I gave birth to my first son. This year by this year November, actually share the same birth month. This year November he's going to be 4 years old. And then last year August I gave birth to my twin boys. Now, I've been talking about manifestation. I talked about manifestation in my last video, and this works. I never even knew it was what was working. Okay, I've always been, my mom is a twin, and I've always thought and I've always felt like I really need to, give birth to twins. Like, it's something I need. So I kept praying, God, give me twins. God, give me twins. God, I need twins. God. And I kept praying and praying and praying and praying. I kept saying it, even when people say, do you know the stress of twins? And I became close to people who have twins. Go there, try to carry their babies, just play with them and buy things for twins. Like, I had this love for twins, not knowing I was going to give birth to twins when I get married. Of course, when I got pregnant for my first son, I was wishing it was twins. Oh God, give me twin boys. I gave birth. It was 1 boy. I was like, God, but I really need twins. So why did you give me 1 boy? You know why? So, like that, when reality of life began to show in the face, responsibilities, the need to, when as a parent you are spending money on a lot of things, you're spending money on bills and everything. Sometimes what you have been saying before and trying to manifest before, you might just stop saying it. Say, God, conditional, look at it. But while I was manifesting, I was always praying to God that, God, I want you to bless me with money, bless me with finances, bless me with all that I need to raise these twins. And I believe God is on it. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. So the next thing, when I got pregnant for this, my second set of children, which is my twin. The first is a single boy, and this second twin are twin. This second this second set of children are twin boys. So when I got pregnant, it was at a time where things were very, very hard. Okay. Now, it's not for you to just decide, okay, I want this, and you say, God, how will you do it? You do not have to think about how God is going to do it. Okay. God will do it. He's the kind of God that makes way in the desert. He makes rivers in the desert. He makes way in the wilderness. You might be seeing a thick bush. And you do not know how you're going to go through it. But God knows how He does the things. Right, stop now, please. That's my son drumming. God, eat your food. God knows how He does His things and how He makes things come to pass. And so, when I went for scan, I didn't go for antenatal for the first 5 months. So when I clocked 5 months, I went for scan. Boom, they said it was twins. Meanwhile, I've always prayed this prayer and even manifested it, pictured myself carrying twins, not knowing I have manifested it into existence. If you are listening to me now, I want you to know that the spiritual controls the natural. Even as a believer, the spiritual is the natural state of a believer. Okay? It is what you think about that comes to existence. It's what you pronounce with your mouth that comes to existence. Look at your tongue. Touch your tongue. This tongue is powerful. Okay? Now, this tongue is what brings what you want into existence. That's why I keep saying, be careful what you wish for. And so when I went for scan, it was twins. At that point, we were financially like this. And I didn't want the twins at that point. But I've already manifested it into existence years before then. And I can clearly remember every step I took in saying, God, I want twins. Now at this point it came, I didn't want the twins. I couldn't even tell my husband the result of the scan for a couple of months. I couldn't tell him. I think it was this 7 months. I then told him. I was like, it was like, God, twins in this economy, how are we going to survive? But that's, I also pray to God that the finances we would need to, take care of these twins, that God should give it to us. And, I began picturing myself, going viral on my social media platforms, on YouTube, on things I lay my hands upon. I'm also an affiliate marketer, digital entrepreneur, and I'm a YouTuber. So meanwhile, my YouTube monetization was stopped. But after giving birth to these twins, I was able to get an idea I've been pursuing for over 7 months. I got the idea and I verified my identity, and my monetization has been brought back, and doors began opening. My husband's workplace, he needed to go to school for an upgrade in his work so he can be promoted. But then immediately I gave birth, he was able to got finances to support him going to school, and he's done with that program. In fact, he resumed very late to the school, just shortly before exam. So it was like 2 weeks course, a course that would take 9 months or more. It took him 2 weeks to do. That is what God can do when I pray to God what we need. I'm coming. Let me get one of the twin boys. He's crying, so he won't wake the other. He was sleeping. So this is he's crying. Hey baby. What happened? Why are you crying? You're looking for your mommy. So sorry about that. So this is one of the twins. You can see my cutie pie. Yeah, and his twinnie is asleep. So now what happened? When manifestation is not as difficult as we make it seem, okay? Manifestation is not as difficult as we make it seem. Right? Think of what you want, write it down, and then visualize yourself having it. Okay? I wouldn't want to edit this video too much, so just bear with me. You think of what you want and visualize it, and boom, you have it. Don't think about how it's going to come. Do not think about how God is going to answer that prayer, but yours is just to desire it, and desire something big. Don't limit yourself, because the power of manifestation, the power of God bringing things into manifestation is really, really, really big. Okay? Now, when you think of something, think of a very big thing. What your ordinary belief, if you were to believe it yourself, cannot carry. Think of it. Write it down. Picture yourself having that thing. Picture it and say, thank you, Lord, for this. I'm thankful for having this. I'm thankful for having that. I'm thankful for having that. And trust me, it will come to pass. I'm really, really grateful finding Sammy Ingram's channel, and that even made me to, follow some of our followers, like Stephanie Claire. I followed her and I saw how it's working for her. Sorry, baby. And that's how it worked. So guys, I wouldn't want this video to be too long. Give this video a thumbs up and see you guys in my next video. I love you all.